Here in Clemson, South Carolina, they're celebrating another ACC Atlantic title in football. Today, inside of Littlejohn Coliseum, the men's basketball team goes for win number 2 on the season, taking on Colgate out of the Patriot League. Hi, friends, with Jim Davis, Pete Hannity with you. Well, a Colgate team that's really good. They won the Patriot last year. They're picked to win that conference again this season. As for the Tigers, so far in the first couple of games, Amir Sims, the junior forward, a good start for him, especially on the glass.
Well, Amir has to be the force inside. He had a double-double in a loss against Virginia Tech. And then against Presbyterian did not score. So we're looking for consistency. I'm sure Coach Brownell has been harping on that.
Sims, though, 8 rebounds in that win over PC. As for Colgate, one of the best point guards at the mid-major level, Jordan Burns, holds their best season average in program history. He had 6 a game a year ago. He's off to that kind of start as they won their opener the other night against New Jersey Tech. 1-0 Colgate against 1-1 Clemson were underway here in Littlejohn Coliseum. Second all-time meeting between these two programs, the first since 1979. The Tigers throttled the Colgate team here in Littlejohn Coliseum. Clemson 11-0 all-time against the Patriot League. That's Burns with the ball out high. You see the starting lineups. It includes Nellie Cummings, a Bowling Green transfer who made his debut the other night for Colgate and scored 16 in their win, and a follow-up inside by one of the best mid-major big men you'll see, Rahalis Ivanauskis, the reigning player of the year in the Patriot.
He's on the Lou Henson watch list too, Pete.
Tigers off a 79-point effort the other night, a feed inside of Sims. He can't finish, and as you said, he had that good scoring night against Virginia Tech in the opener with that 12-point performance, a double-double with 15 boards. But Sims, who defends Ivanauskis, be a big part of what the Tigers do all year long on both ends.
Ivanauskis can stretch the defense too. He'll step out and shoot the 3 very well.
Cummings working inside, and a little bit too strong for the freshman guard Chase Hunter of Clemson. Colgate 24 wins a year ago, and they gave Tennessee all they could handle in the NCAA tourney. Tevin Mack draining it from outside. That's what the transfer from Alabama can do. 4 out of 10 coming into the game from beyond the arc.
Veteran player, he's got to come up big for the Tigers. Good job by Amir Sims of stopping dribble penetration. Tigers
forcing the turnover, 17 in their first 2 games, their average. And on the other end, a hard spill by Will Raymond. So the offensive work on the glass, a big part of what Ivanauskis does. And the finish.
That's a great job of reading the defense, too. Got the ball inside. He could have shot it with the right hand, but read the defense, went underneath, and used the basket for us to close it out.
Tevin Mack, 14 points the other night against PC. A couple of quick threes. And the Tigers jump in front for the first time this afternoon. A Clemson team that, of course, had that good night the other night beyond the arc. Matt Langle, the 2-time reigning Patriot League Coach of the Year in his 9th season at the helm of Colgate. He was hired when he was 34 years old after serving as an assistant at Penn and then Temple under Fran Dunphy, a great coach who retired after last season. Work inside by Cummings, no. The battle for the rebound. And it'll stay in the Colgate end. Brad Brownell closing in on the all-time Clemson wins record, just 7 shy of the Marquette by Cliff Ellis, as Brownell got his 170th win the other night guiding Clemson. And he comes into today with 337 wins. Now in his 18th season as a head coach.
10th year at Clemson.
Little backdoor, nice find, nice finish. Tucker Richardson, sophomore out of Flemington, New Jersey.
Richardson was Patriot League Rookie of the Year last year.
They've got all 5 of their five leading scorers returning to this Colgate lineup. Hunter. And Jamie Lucky on the baseline. Gets some help from out of the wing. Lucky joined today by Tim Clougherty and Mark Schnurr. And they say last touch by the Tigers. That NCAA tourney game against Tennessee, a 77-70 final. Burns no, and rebound tipped. Boy, Richardson might have had a chance to get the loose ball.
Almost hit him and didn't even see the ball.
Mack hit one from there moments ago. Why not again?
You know, Clemson, I think they shoot the ball a little early in the offensive possession, but as long as they have those kind of results.
And Cummings unable to answer from the corner. Mack, a versatile player, the 6'6" native of Columbia. Newman, Tigers' top scorer so far. Good extra effort.
Second chance opportunity for the Tigers. Chase Hunter
with the finish. Hunter off that 13-point game against Presbyterian and the Tigers' 79-45 win on Thursday night. Richardson.
Excuse me, Pete. That high post handoff created a wide open shot. Got to do a better job helping Amir.
Burns couldn't finish. Mack from end to end, and he'll pick up the personal.
Of course, I imagine Amir has been schooled very well by the coaching staff at Clemson on the pick and pop by Ivanauskas.
That time, a little bit too much contact for Mack on Richardson. First foul in the ball game on either side. Just into the game, Kayvon Moore, the Texas Tech transfer. And a guy the Tigers found out was cleared to play a little over a week ago, so he won't have to sit out after arriving from Lubbock, Texas, where he played a year ago and saw limited action. Ivanauskas, he can step out. Can't get it to go. Taken off the floor by Alamir Dawes, one of those two freshman guards in the starting lineup for Clemson.
It's a great job of pressuring the basketball that time defensively by Clemson.
Whistle away from the ball, and a foul will be called inside on Colgate early on here. Tigers up by 5. Tigers grad student Tevin Mack averaged 9 points a game in Alabama a season ago. Well, here early on, he's already reached that number, a perfect 3 out of 3 beyond the arc.
Outstanding. And, the very first play of the game, Pete, they got the ball inside the Amir Sims. Now, he missed a little baby hook with the left hand, but I'm sure that that's going to be a point of emphasis for the Clemson team.
Meanwhile, Mack getting a breather, but the 9-point effort following up the other night when he had 14 against Presbyterian. He had 10 in the opener against Virginia Tech. He is maybe the X factor. His lone season in the program. A 6'6" guy who can play on the wing but also get inside. But he is going to have to make up for the scoring that departed with the likes of Marquise Reed and Eli Thomas, among others.
Well, this team hasn't been a very strong rebounding team in the first 2 games. So he obviously has to give some help on the boards.
More off the inbound. Tigers have about 3 or 4 they can use at the point, including the man with the ball, Curran Scott. The Tulsa transfer. Trying to drive inside, and they'll get the reach-in foul against Cummings.
Scott can stroke that 3 pretty well, too.
Take another look at Cummings on the bump. And so now 2 team fouls.
That's a good job protecting the basketball with Scott there. Had the ball outside away from the defender.
Before we went to break, Ivanauskas was called for his first on Colgate. And now Cummings has one. Scott and Moore. 2 on the shot clock inside Sims, and unable to finish again. So a couple of close looks for Amir Sims, but 0 for 2 in the game. Ivanauskas, now Burns.
That's a switch. Ivanauskas has got the mismatch inside.
Jack Ferguson just into the game. Good work on the glass, Ivanauskas. Right wing, Richardson. Tucker Richardson. As you noted, Rookie of the Year in their conference a season ago, and a guy he can do everything from shoot it to run the point to go inside. Scott with the answer for Clemson. Can't get it to go. Moore. Left wing, Newman. And Burns will take it the other way. Colgate had the early 4-0 advantage. Scrappy play by Newman. It'll stay in the Raiders' end. Well, Colgate able to recycle a possession that time.
Well, no question about the fact that it's going to be a chore for this Clemson team to keep them off the glass. They've got great size in Raymond and Ivanauskas.
It's Ivanauskas setting the screen. He had 24 points in their opening win against New Jersey Tech and 8 rebounds. That's about his average since arriving at Colgate from Northwestern. Burns. Oh, sweet move.
Yep.
By Jordan Burns, the junior out of San Antonio's John Marshall. We're tied at 11. .50 run for the Raiders.
A little matchup zone here. Point zone.
And more from the left elbow.
They're always looking for holes in the zone, and he found that at the elbow there. And that was a good bounce pass by Dawes.
Moore getting into the scoring column and now has a couple of field goals in his Clemson career. Ivanauskas backing in on Sims, has a size advantage. Feeds inside, knocked away as Ferguson tried to take it to the hole. Good job by Sims.
Newman got a hand on that one, and Newman's he's an X factor for this team too. That guy can score, and he is a tremendous jumper.
Brad Brownell will tell you he's an incredibly important player for this team. On the Colgate side, Will Raymond, 8th all-time in scoring for the Raiders, and back on turnover. Tigers have been efficient so far in the first 2 games. Just 10 turnovers so far for the Clemson Ball Club, but it'll go the other way. And we look again at the nice move by Burns.
Good head fake, dipped his shoulder, shot fake, turned just enough fade without getting too far off balance.
And then a good answer by Kayvon Moore, who was just 1 out of 6 the other night against PC, but got his first field goal today.
Clemson's switching everything on the perimeter.
Burns knocks it down out high. Yeah, he's a point guard who averaged 6 assists a game last year, but in their conference title game against Bucknell, his career high of 35, and then he followed that with 32 in the NCAAs against Tennessee.
And Tennessee was a pretty good ranked team, too.
Yeah. Second seed, Sims, tough start, goes back up with it.
That's battling right there now. That's competing. They needed that. Maybe that'll get Amir off the snide a little bit here.
Sims now 1 out of 4 from the field. Colgate's lead back to 2. Raymond knocked away. Quick hands inside. Moore to Scott. Scott, Newman. John Newman, Tigers' leading scorer through the first couple of games, averaging 15 and a half, and able to tie this game up at 17 apiece.
That's a great 3-on-2 opportunity right there for the Tigers.
Burns, strong move inside. Tigers collapsing defensively.
Can't let him get that deep.
Scott. Ball knocked away by Raymond. Now Burns, a little runner, can't get it to fall as he tried to scoop it up there.
How good was that?
Love the body control out of Jordan Burns.
Right.
Had 10 points the other night against New Jersey Tech. Ended up being a tight game for Colgate on their home court. They won by just 5 against the Big South foe, but 80 points they scored, the most in an opener against a Division I team since 1997. So this is a ball club that can certainly fill it up. Dawes denied that time. Dawes probably familiar with Colgate, coming from the New York metro area in northern New Jersey, and Colgate's about a 5-hour drive from there. Nothing that time from long range for Raymond.
Raymond might have been a step outside his range there. He was.
Sims, contact, and the offensive foul is called on Amir Sims. That'll be his first. And the Tigers' second team foul. Well, Amir Sims showing the extra effort, getting into the scoring column here. If not first, then you try again. Although, mixed results so far for the junior from the state of Virginia. Early on, we're tied at 17. With a 3 p.m. afternoon start today, impressive those students could make it on time for the ball game here at Littlejohn Coliseum. Tigers and Colgate Raiders out of the Patriot League. If you've followed college sports for a while, you may remember Colgate until a few years ago was known as the Red Raiders. Well, they decided to take the word red out of their nickname. You can search the internet and there's an explanation why they did that. Back to action. Coming up on the 10-minute mark of our opening half, Nellie Cummings, the Bowling Green transfer, had a nice debut against New Jersey Tech the other night. 16 points in the 5-point win. Driving from the wing, Ferguson underneath to freshman Keegan Records, who just checked in. And it won't go down from the corner for David Maynard, who also is on the floor for the first time this afternoon.
That'll be a battle inside with him and Jemison.
Hunter, and we'll get the illegal screen. Trey Jemison just checked into the ball game. The Tigers' 7-foot sophomore out of Birmingham.
That might have been Curran Scott's fault as much as it was. He's got to give Jemison time to get there. He might have gone a little too early. Be a little more patient, Scott.
So
got him with the right leg there.
Cummings hitting the deck. 3 fouls on the Tiger team so far, and Colgate with a couple. Richardson, good ball handler, not that time. Ahead it goes, Hunter.
Great play right there. That's what I call pinch help, Pete. Pinch in on the dribbler, get a hand on that basketball.
Hunter with 4 points so far, making up for that sequence moments ago when Jemison ended up picking up the foul. Inside feed to Records. They work it on the wing. Maynard didn't play in their opener, but coming off a concussion issue, he's out there today. Under 10 on the shot clock. Richardson again losing it, scrapping his record. Held ball. And it'll go Clemson's way. Good hustle by Keegan Records. So the Tigers, scrappy play, needing to force turnovers, doing it there.
Good job. And obviously you get a hand, you create the turnover, and you get the layup on the other end.
The Tigers coming in over the first couple of games, averaging 17 turnovers. Records that time, and that essentially works as a turnover as well. He hustled, but even if he'd been able to get the ball back for Colgate, they were down to just a couple of seconds on the shot clock.
Just from the first minute or two, it looks like Records might be the designated screener for the Raider team.
Well, they lost a couple of guys that contributed to last year. Other than that, everybody's back, plus the addition of Cummings. But Records has a big role to fill as the center Dana Bath graduated. And that time he does a good job close to the basket, as it'll be a shot clock violation against the Tigers. And Ivanauskas will check back in as Records serving his purpose coming out of that last timeout.
He did indeed, and obviously we're coming back in with Amir Sims to check Ivanauskas as well. So we got a little dueling coaches going on.
Richardson. Ferguson had a look, and the rebound comes down to Tevin Mack, who's back in after getting a rest. And we've got another illegal screen, and that time it was Curran Scott, who apparently didn't give Tevin Mack enough time to set the screen.
He didn't get the message from Coach Brownell, did he? Look. And Mack might have gone a little too close, but still he needs to wait one more second. And, sometimes you have to refuse that screen, Pete. That might have been the time right there.
Mack promptly back to the bench. That's his second foul, coming up on 8 to play in our opening half. Game 3 of this 2019 and 20 campaign for the Tigers. The first stretch of games all at home here. Nice drive to the bucket. Nice finish by Cummings. And back to a tie game, this time at 19. Hunter Tyson in the contest with Mack over on the bench. Dawes splits defenders. Quick move inside. Alamir Dawes, that's how you get rated as a 4-star coming out of high school.
That's the way you run the pick and roll, too. He used the screen very, very well. Rubbed shoulders, created the shot.
And Richardson stepped out of bounds. Colgate, another turnover for a team that tries to be efficient. They're giving the Tigers all they can handle so far because Nellie Cummings, their Bowling Green transfer, is making a contribution. We're back to Littlejohn after this.
The World University game, certainly an unbelievable experience for our players. To be picked is a unique honor and one that we certainly took with great pride.
Winning the gold medal was surreal, definitely a once-in-a-lifetime deal.
Everybody was focused, dialed in, locked in. Once the ball went up in the air, it was set in stone that we were ready to play. We were ready to bring back the gold medal.
The World University Championship, the presented Brad Burnell, real bonding experience as well. Not your typical overseas trip because they were in competition, whereas when you usually take a summer trip, you'll play games you're trying to win, but there's as much about team activities away from the court. But this was a true business trip, and the Tigers were certainly up to the task, and with so many new faces. In fact, Tevin Mack, for example, had only been with them for a few days before they went overseas. It was a great opportunity. Interestingly, Colgate took a Italy trip in early August, but the more traditional summer trip. Tigers going to need that out of Hunter Tyson in for Tevin Mack, who's over on the bench with a couple of fouls, and Tyson able to dent the scoreboard and back out to the biggest lead owned by either team so far at 5 points.
I was among the fans that met the bus when they got back from the World University games, and although weary as you might expect, they were excited and very, very pleased.
Rejection inside Sims. Ivanauskas trying to force the action down low. Tigers trying to build their biggest lead so far in this opening half. Dawes. Another drive to the bucket. Teardrop runner.
No question. There's no doubt that young man right there has got a bright future here at Clemson. Good job. And he's penetrated 2 or 3 times. That's the first time he's succeeded in a score, though.
Colgate in a bit of a drought, and another turnover there, 7th in the early going.
Great team defense. Amir Sims stepped out and stopped the drive.
Lid on that time for Dawes. Now 3 out of 11 beyond the arc in the early stages of the season. Tyson that time. Sims, Tyson.
Defense generates offense. If you can do that, you've got something special.
Hunter Tyson, 5 points combined in the first 2 games in just mere minutes. He has matched that number here this afternoon. Tigers have their biggest lead of the day. Well, Tevin Mack began the day 3 out of 3 beyond the arc. Hunter Tyson comes in, and what does he do? Well, for that position, he keeps the trend going.
He does indeed, and that's what Tyson has to do. He's got to stretch the defense like that. He also was very, very much involved in that defensive steal down there.
Tyson's importance growing today with Alex Hemingway, a freshman guard who had done some good things in his first 2 games before he was injured the other night, not available today. But with him out, combined with the fact that Jonathan Bear and Clyde Trapp are still several weeks away from returning, guys like Hunter Tyson need to make an impact. Good play call out of the timeout by Colgate's Matt Langle ends the Clemson run. On the perimeter, Hunter and now Newman. Newman quiet relatively so far compared to his first couple of games. Battle and Raymond wins it for Colgate on the rebound. Ivanauskas on Sims. In the corner it goes. Richardson with a hand in his face. Newman got out there just a split second too late.
He did. That's a great job of helping. Amir Sims is doing such a good job on defense. He stopped. He played good help defense. He's playing good defense on Ivanauskas. It's just Ivanauskas. He's got to have some help.
Here's Sims from downtown. And Colgate looking to continue a 5-0 run. Ivanauskas to Burns. Still plenty of time on the shot clock, but they do take their time in their offense. Raymond backs in on Newman. Soft touch off the glass.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
We saw him hit a 3 moments ago. Will Raymond 5th in their program in 3-pointers. And we told you he's top 10 in Colgate scoring all time. Brad Brownell wants to talk it over. Colgate's pulled back within 2 here in Littlejohn. Fun Sunday at the game, especially if you bring along your toys. And with Jim Davis, Pete Hannity with you here in Littlejohn Coliseum. It's a tight game between the Tigers and the Patriot League favorite Colgate Raiders, and a Clemson team that'll get deeper as the season progresses. Remember back in the spring, within weeks of each other, Clyde Trapp and Jonathan Baer both suffering knee injuries. The hope is that Baer will be available next month, and then by January they think Trapp, the guard who will be so important to this team in ACC play once it resumes, he should be back sometime in January.
Plus Clemson's missing Alex Hemingway, who was injured in the Presbyterian game.
And there's really no clarity on how long he'll be missed. A scary spill the other night, and he had contributed in the first couple of games. Newman's done good work so far this season. Can't get it to go. Hunter inside, and on his way up, he's fouled.
It was a great front pivot. When Hunter got that rebound and came down, made the front pivot, squared his shoulders with a backboard, got the power layup, and drew the foul.
Hunter Tyson heads to the line, where he's 0 for 1 this season.
Got long arms, Pete. He can scratch his knee without bending over, I believe.
Sophomore from just outside of Charlotte. Highly regarded coming out of high school. Had folks like Michigan and Davidson, Tennessee, and Wake Forest after him, but he picked Clemson. He and Newman go back a long way from their AAU days in the state of North Carolina. And Hunter Tyson, couple of free throws. That ends a 7-0 run for the Colgate team. Tigers back up by 4. They've led by as many as 9.
It might have been the first 2 free throws of the half.
Nice answer inside. Raymond, you are correct. First free throws by either team on the 2 makes by Tyson, but back to a 2-point game. Clemson's led at the half in its first 2 games this season. And Chase Hunter able to stop and pop. So we've seen a big impact by the sophomore Hunter Tyson, and the freshman Chase Hunter having a solid first half. Now has half a dozen points.
I like the way Clemson's getting the ball in the paint with the dribble penetration most of the time.
On the wing, Ivan Auskis leaves it short. Good hustle, Richardson. Fresh shot clock, Burns. Couldn't get the friendly roll, and Tyson the good box out on the bigger Ivan Auskis.
Actually, it was Sims that boxed him out, and Hunter got that rebound.
And comes down with it. On the wing, and that's going to be a travel. So good
Great
work
job
inside by Raymond.
And a better feed by Ivan Auskis. That's not an easy angle to throw, to pass or catch.
One of the things Ivan Auskis does well also is distribute the ball. And again, they've got more than just Burns, who just gives it away to Ivan Auskis there, who can pass. Richardson very good at that as well. And Burns throws it where no Raider was waiting. And it'll be called a backcourt violation, and that's a good call because Cummings did touch it over the line.
Now, great hustle right there. Ooh, I thought he was going to undercut him.
But it's where the ball was touched. So
that was exactly the right call.
And at that point, you look away from the contact because the primary issue is that Colgate was in the process of turning it over, and they would have called the same thing had Clemson been in that situation. Sure. Newman spinning, and what a nice move. He goes underneath the 6'5" Richardson.
And give Chase Hunter the great effort there.
Newman 4 points so far. Been a slow start for him. Too strong for Ivan Auskis from Burns.
I never liked for my guards to throw jump passes, to be honest with you. And that was a jump pass that obviously carried a little further.
Meanwhile, Newman with a nice spin move on his fellow 15, Richardson. Tigers have built the lead back out to a half dozen. They were up by 9 a little bit earlier in this opening half of play. One freshman to another. Dawes from Hunter. Alamir Dawes.
You got to love Clemson's ball movement. Doing a great job. Shot fakes, put the ball on the floor with dribble penetration. Another loose ball created with the defense.
Knocked away again. Another Colgate turnover, their 11th of the half. Tigers make them pay on the other end.
Defense generating offense.
Tigers with their first double-figure advantage, up by 10 here, under a minute to go before the break. In the corner, Cummings. Can't get the roll down. Hunter Tyson the rebound. You see the
about been one and done for Colgate. They've done a great job on the boards.
And yet Clemson has out-rebounded the Raiders by just 2 inside. Not going to fall. And tough start around the basket for the Tigers as a whole. So Colgate will play for a final shot. Second game of the season for the Raiders, the third for Clemson.
Switching everything on the perimeter.
Burns kicks, Richardson drives, little finger roll, and that's how our first half will come to an end. Well run play by Colgate to at least get inside of being double figures down. Tigers were moving the ball at various points in the opening half. Brad Brownell will head to the locker room with his team and talk more about that, but he's got to be happy with this kind of offense.
There's a high post rub there. Comes back off. That's a great pass, little hook pass. Good job putting the ball on the floor.
Alamir Dawes with that. Colgate, a team that uses a lot of principles that Penn and Temple ran when their head coach Matt Nagel was an assistant there. Halftime here at Littlejohn. 8-point lead for a Clemson team trying to go 12-0 all-time against teams out of the Patriot League. Second all-time meeting between Clemson and Colgate. With Jim Davis, Pete Hannity with you back here in Littlejohn Coliseum. Tigers in that opening half, they trailed by as many as 4, but they built the lead out to as many as double figures. We talked about the good defense. Some good offensive efforts from the wing position. Tevin Mack, a hot start with 3 out of 3 beyond the arc. He had 9 points, but had to go to the bench with a couple of fouls. But to the rescue came Hunter Tyson. Good first half for him, the sophomore, with 7 points.
Good first half. He stepped back and made the step back 3 there, and then he actually got a hand on a pass, created a loose ball, and reaped the reward with the layup on the other end. And then on another turnover, led the fast break in a 3-on-2 situation.
At one of the Tigers' many steals in that opening half, a big story as to how they scored 18 points off turnovers, and Tyson again impacting things. He had not scored in the opener against Virginia Tech, just 5 the other night, but starting the fast break there as Clemson built the 8-point lead at the break. Meanwhile, a sophomore for Colgate, Tucker Richardson, good first half, leads all scorers with 10 points.
No doubt, and 2 of his threes came off a pass from the post, and a lot of times a player is a much better shooter with the ball coming out from the post. So a post player that can pass the basketball is worth their weight in gold.
And Richardson, a native of Flemington, New Jersey, would make a fellow New Jerseyan proud. Bill Bradley with that little finger roll just before the break. Back to the Clemson side. Tigers will try to play in transition this year. It's that kind of ball movement they need.
It is indeed.
As you saw, the movement on the break and then in the half court. And, well, Chase Hunter didn't have the shot, but his fellow freshman Alamir Dawes did.
Chase Hunter threw that hook pass. You don't see that very often. That's a very difficult pass to complete. It was good, crisp. Got it to Dawes. Dawes, good shot fake, put the ball on the floor and shot it very well off the bounce.
In their opener against Virginia Tech, Tigers had a 3-point lead, but were not good offensively in the second half. Brad Brownell saw a really good couple of halves against Presbyterian. A mid-major you would have expected Clemson to get the kind of win against they did on Thursday night, but now against a quality team that's picked to win the Patriot League and was very good a year ago with 24 victories in a conference championship. No doubt Brad Brownell's message at halftime was keep the pedal down.
No question about it. You know, we use the word consistency in talking about Amir Sims early on. We got to have that same consistent play from Clemson.
Matt Langle, the Colgate head coach, now in his 9th season. Well, this is the first of 3 consecutive games for the Raiders against Power 5 teams. They'll play their neighbor Syracuse on Wednesday, and then after that, they've got a trip back down south, and they'll be on an SEC court when they play at a very good Auburn team. So a tough stretch to test his team. Amir Sims and the Tigers, their first 5 games at home, and then they'll be gone from Littlejohn for nearly a month after they play Alabama State on the 21st. They don't play here again until December 15th.
Colgate's got 2 or 3 players that can take this game over. We got to make sure nobody gets on a run there.
One of them just had the ball in the corner to another. And a good scoring afternoon continues for Tucker Richardson. He's got 13 points to lead all scorers. He's now 3 out of 4 beyond the arc.
Looking to get Sims a touch inside if they can.
Notice Mack at the bottom of your screen back in with those 2 fouls, and it'll be a turnover for Clemson. Just the 8th in the game for the Tigers. We talked about the Clemson ball movement moments ago. What about Colgate?
Very good passers. Very good passers. Most inside.
Yeah, he gives up a few inches to Ivanowskis. Out on the wing, Burns. And nearly defying the laws of physics on a Sunday afternoon. There was a full moon last night. That might have had something to do with it, but eventually gravity took over, and the Tigers will get it back.
Burns is one of those players that can take this game over if we're not careful. That's very good defense on him, and we got to keep it up. Clemson's got to keep it up.
Hunter sheds the defender, and a nice stop and pop.
How good is that? How good is that? Once again, getting both feet in the paint. Little jump stop, straight up in the air, good balance on the shot. Got a mismatch inside. Dawes guarding Ivanowskis. We got to double. That's a good job.
They'll be doubling him throughout this second half. Raymond. Will Raymond, one of the best three-point shooters in Colgate history. And just like that, it's back to a 4-point Clemson lead. See what kind of attention Mack gets out on the perimeter here in the second half. Sims sees the double team come, and the little lefty hook works.
That's his bread and butter.
Ivanowskis, you could tell he felt good about it when it was in the air. The tray for the big man, the Northwestern transfer, and reigning Patriot League Player of the Year, and now Colgate within 3.
Pick and pop is very, very difficult to defend.
Newman inside the arc, can't get the roll, and nearly disaster on the rebound try as Raymond and Ivanowskis both went up for it.
If you switch it, then it becomes a mismatch inside like they did last time.
Looking for the cutter, and the roll up and in. Will Raymond building on his afternoon. He's got 12 points. Raymond and Richardson have combined for 25, and what was a 10-point first-half deficit for the Raiders has been reduced to just 1. Timeout on the court here in Littlejohn Coliseum. Tigers coach Brad Brownell told us before the game that Colgate plays with great rhythm in their offense.
No doubt, and they're screening with Ivanowskis on the perimeter there, and if they hard hedge, then he obviously rolls to the basket. If they switch, then they pick and pop, and he burns them from the 3. So if they switch, he also rolls them inside and posts them up. So you got big on little in there. You've got to make sure that you've practiced really hard against the pick and pop.
Quick definition on the term hard hedge.
Hard hedge is when you step out and show yourself outside the screen. Outside the screen, where if that ball handler comes off that screen, you're right there ready to slow them down.
Tevin Mack, nice play out of the timeout by Brad Brownell. Mack, the Tigers' leading scorer, first Clemson player in double figures with 11. And that's having sat a good part of the first half in foul trouble. Burns hung up by Hunter. The returning shooting teams in the nation. In fact, a year ago, they were top 10 in the NCAA beyond the arc.
Well, Jordan Burns right there proves that they've got number of players that can burn them from beyond the arc.
And we've got a 44-all tie as the Raiders have worked back from that 10-point deficit in the opening half. Newman, he gave it away on a travel moments ago, nearly dragged his foot there. And the offensive effort for the Tigers again coming up empty. Ivanauskas spinning, lost the handle.
I think you can attribute that once again to good job by Amir Sims getting nose on the ball, making him change direction.
Alamir Dawes from downtown. He was 2 out of 10 beyond the arc in the first couple of games. He's now 1 for 3 this afternoon. In that opening half, we had 4 lead changes, but Clemson took control about midway through, and they were able to force nearly a dozen turnovers in the first 20 minutes. Let's see if they score off that one. No. And Burns the long rebound. Into the corner it goes, Richardson. The answer for Tucker Richardson.
Once again, inside out, penetrate in there and kick out to the corner, and he bears a 3. You're going to see Clemson is going to see a steady diet of the 2-man game between Jordan Burns and Ivanauskas.
Sims thought about it from beyond the arc. Mack. And Tevin Mack. That's the first miss from beyond the arc this afternoon. Now 3 out of 4. Colgate tries for its first lead in quite some time. Mack with the steal, and probably a smart foul that time by Raymond.
No doubt about it. It was going to be a dunk if he hadn't committed a foul.
Will Raymond picking up the first Colgate foul of the second half. Again, that rhythm in the offense for the Raiders, and Burns from downtown with the bomb. Tigers outscored Colgate 21-5 off turnovers so far today.
Well, that's really how Clemson's staying in this basketball game. Amir Sims, once again, I've said it 3 or 4 times, but he's got great body on the Ivanauskas, and his strength is causing him problems, generating the turnover, and obviously it creates offense for Clemson.
Alamir Dawes, the highly regarded Clemson freshman. He's the godson of St. Peter's coach Shaheen Holloway, who brought St. Peter's in here a year ago and obviously learned a lot from the former great Seton Hall guard. And
now, are they still the Peahens? Are they still the Peahens?
Peacocks.
Peacocks. Yeah. Well, the women are the Peahens.
Do they go by? I didn't realize that. Offensive rebound, Sims, and he's able to finish. Amir Sims with that strength inside, plays bigger than his 6'7", 237-pound frame.
He does.
Clemson back in front by a couple. In the corner, got to watch out for that from Richardson. And there's Sims on the rebound and cleaning up the glass once again. But just his 3rd rebound of the game, and the Tigers finish. Alamir Dawes now building on his afternoon scoring. First Tiger in double figures with 11 points.
Coast to coast.
From the wing. Just when you think you're putting a run together on Colgate, one of their really good shooters, in that case Raymond, able to bring them back a little bit closer, a 1-point game.
They had a back cut that drew the defender just enough.
And the steal by Burns. One man to beat Hunter. Great defense by the freshman, but then Jamie Lucky trailing the play will call the foul.
Ooh. I don't understand that, Mr. Ref.
The thing that'll infuriate a coach more than anything else is when the official who's on the other side of the court makes the call, or the other side from the play. And now a discussion. Jamie Lucky leading a crew that includes Tim Clougherty and Mark Schnurr. And they're going to go ahead and say Hunter the foul. I believe the discussion was that intentional. We'll have another look.
Are you telling me what infuriates a coach?
I was going to say. It's like I just walked into the kitchen of a 5-star restaurant and asked the head chef to add a little bit more garlic. First free throw of the game for Colgate, just the 3rd for either team. And we see again Burns And well, maybe with the body, but boy, give Chase Hunter some credit for the great hustle.
No doubt.
But he picks up his second personal, so he and Mack 2 fouls each for the Tigers. Burns does a lot of things well, including hitting a couple of free throws. Our 5th lead change of the ball game, and the first in a long, long time, since all the way back to the middle of the opening half. Now they go zone to the Raiders.
1-2-2 zone matchup.
And Moore, when he lowered the shoulder, there wasn't a whole lot that Tim Clougherty, the official who was standing just a few feet away, could do but called the foul.
Brad was in his ear, too.
John Newman will check back in. You saw the contact made there. So, Kayvon Moore with the personal foul, his first. Here in the second half, 2 on the Tigers, and now on the other end. And a little wraparound that time by Ivan Auskias, who has a look of despair on his face. That's his second personal in the game.
His second team foul.
Team fouls even at 2 apiece.
He might be becoming a little frustrated. I'm not real sure.
Well, Ivan Auskias, a guy who's going to be a double-figure scorer this year, 7 points so far. Sims doing a really good job on him. Tigers try to retake the lead. They led by 8 at halftime. Inside, reverse, Curran Scott, and Raymond will be called for his 3rd personal. So he's the first player in the ball game to have 3 fouls against him. And now a big decision time for Matt Langle, the Colgate head coach. And you see the drive by Scott.
Little hesitation dribble there by Scott. And got him on the arm, I guess, on the way up. Hadn't been to the free throw line very much. Either team is.
And the first miss in his early Clemson career for the graduate student Curran Scott. He was 2 for 2 over the first couple of ball games. Kevin Mack getting some instruction, and he's going to need to be a go-to guy for the Clemson team here in this next stretch. Try to build that lead. And we have our second tie here in half number 2. I take that back, our 3rd tie. This time even up at 52 all.
Little flare screen for Ferguson there.
Burns leaves it short. Scrapping to the basket. And the foul inside. A block will be called. I think they're going to get Sims for that. And they will.
Burns doesn't miss very often, so Coach Brownell's pointing out to Chase Hunter, you can't give him that second chance opportunity.
As evidence right there.
Right.
As Sims picks up his second personal, back to the line goes Burns, and he has shot and made all 3 Colgate free throws so far this afternoon.
Hunter was sprinting to outlet position so they could get the fast break started, but you got to get the ball before you can run.
Two-point lead for Colgate. Newman tries to change that. Sims the offensive glass, and it'll stay in the Clemson end. Colgate Raiders out of Hamilton, New York. Tigers fly over that upstate New York town when they roll into Syracuse. A couple of towns not too far from Syracuse that have 2 colleges in them in upstate New York. Hamilton's one of them. Ithaca's the other. Mack has now missed a couple from long range here in the second half. But look at Sims, hung up over on the wing, held ball. And the arrow will keep it in the Clemson end.
Sims was almost falling out of bounds. That was a desperation pass there. He had to throw it. And Mack did a good job getting a jump ball out of it.
Off the inbound, Curran Scott, one of the Tigers who can run the point if need be. Chase Hunter, an 8-point game so far. Richardson on the reach in, or Ferguson from behind. Foul will go against Jack Ferguson. That's his first. Tigers in a battle here with the reigning Patriot League champs. Tigers getting all they can handle from the preseason Patriot League favorite Colgate Raiders. Perhaps at the under 12 timeout, Brad Brownell is talking about getting the ball inside more. Points in the paint. Clemson's nearly doubled Colgate so far.
Amir Sims has gotten some offensive rebounds and some putbacks. Well, there's the power layup by Sims there, but they've also done a really good job with dribble penetration. Chase Hunter, John Newman, Alamir Adams, done a really good job off the bounce, getting in there. Chase especially has shot a couple little pull-up jumpers in there. Now he gets to the free throw line as a result of it.
Sims 6 points so far. He had 12 in the opening loss against Virginia Tech. Hunter now with 9 in the game. Tigers have a couple in double figures. Alamir Dawes, the freshman guard, with 11, and Tevin Mack with 11 points. Chase Hunter, a couple go down right there. We're tied again, this time at 54. From the wing. Ball missing everything on the attempt by Ferguson.
It's a little different attack by Colgate there. They ran Ivanauskas into the screen that time instead of immediately setting the middle pick and roll. There's Newman again getting in the paint.
That'll be a reach-in foul. And they called against David Raymond. Raymond picks up his first, and you see the team fouls building for Colgate, 5. We only had a handful of fouls on either team in the opening half. Got nowhere near one putting the other into a bonus situation.
It's been a clean game.
Colgate in a conference that includes teams like Bucknell and Lehigh, which have picked up marquee NCAA tourney wins over the past decade or so. And they nearly upset a second-seeded Tennessee team in the opening round last year, did the Raiders, when they lost by just 7. And a reach-in foul be called, and it'll go against one of their newcomers, Nelly Cummings. That'll be his second, and now 6 on the Raiders team. And you see Cummings trying to get a strip steal against Hunter.
Once again, getting the ball into the paint and causing them to have to foul.
Looked like that was intended for Newman cutting. Mack instead. Oh, and a shovel. Scoop and a score for the native of Columbia. He was a standout at Dreher High, was Tevin Mack. And now at his 3rd stop in college, a career that began at Texas and Alabama. And a lone graduate season here with the Tigers. Reach-in foul will go against Clemson. Curran Scott picking up the personal. Nice move there by Tevin Mack, and again a very athletic player who can score both outside and inside.
That might make the highlight. What do you think?
Just might. Curran Scott, his first personal. And a ringer goes for Burns from the wing. He's picked up his scoring in the second half, and he now matches Raymond with game high 15 points. Hunter has it partially blocked. Ferguson saves it from going out. Colgate just gave us another lead change, and now trying to build the advantage. They've led by as many as 4. That was back in the opening half. Burns. Raymond. Cummings. Little runner, got off balance as he tried to force the action. Sims. Newman kicks it to the junior big man, back to the basket. Mack. And he's missed on his last 3 three-point attempts, out of bounds, and Clemson will keep it. Jordan Burns, what a fine player they have from San Antonio, Texas.
Came off the screen there by Ivanauskas too.
Off the inbound, and Tevin Mack. Defensive breakdown for Colgate, and back in front go the Tigers.
2 really good baseline out of bounds plays. One by Colgate on one end, with Jordan Burns getting the basket, and there with Mack getting the basket.
And you think of Colgate as a patient team, but early in their offense that time, Burns tried to put him back in front from way outside.
I think the coaches have called on Jordan Burns at halftime to come out and make a difference in this game. He can.
Newman drives inside, bodies fly, nothing doing. Effort by Sims. And he'll head to the line.
What an effort by Sims. Big, strong, quick to the ball. You know who gets the rebound, Pete? It's not the one that jumps the highest. It's the one that gets there first. And Amir Sims got there first.
If he were defensive back, you'd call these ball skills in football.
Right.
He almost got the putback off the one-hander.
Yeah. Almost a tip in. Quick off his feet.
Sims 3 out of 4 from the free throw line coming into the game, and the Tiger Jr. out of Palmyra, Virginia, missing his first attempt today. It remains a 1-point Clemson lead as we're coming up on the 9-minute mark here at half number 2. Burns, dangerous play, knocked out of bounds by Dawes.
Great rotation by Clemson's defense. They actually doubled Ivanowski there and then rotated over, almost got the steal by Dawes. Jumping that passing lane.
Newman has a size advantage on Burns, but he's quick. Lost the handle, though.
Good.
Mack going to lead the break. Dawes the reverse. Mack the follow.
That was a really nice flick away by Dawes on the defensive end. Once again, defense generating offense.
Tigers led by 8 at the break, back up by 3, but Cummings changing that in a hurry.
That was too easy. Nobody helped on the high screen, middle pick and roll.
Cummings now defending the ball. The Bowling Green transfer is second game in a Colgate uniform. They've got a good one. From Midland, Pennsylvania, Dawes tries to fire over Cummings. That one rattles out. And now Colgate a chance to move back in front.
I don't believe Coach Brownell was happy with that quick shot. That might have been a little quick. The problem with shooting quick is the opponent's always got the inside rebound position.
Raymond hung up out high, 10 on the shot clock. Raymond didn't realize that he had a man standing in his way. That was supposed to go to the Colgate senior. Well, the Tigers have forced a good number of turnovers today, and more times than not, they've converted them into quick points. 1-point game as we take a timeout here in Littlejohn Coliseum. Brad Brownell says he likes to schedule mid-majors who are picked to win their league. Well, he's got a good one in Colgate. Going to take some strong X's and O's down the stretch to win this one this afternoon for the Tigers, like we saw moments ago on an inbound play.
Well, there are some coaches that like out-of-bounds plays to get the ball in bounds. Some like to score. In a situation like here, we got Kevin Mack, and then roll it. When the ball is in bounds, here goes Mack here. We actually have a 2-on-1 situation with Newman and Mack both go into the basket.
Another example of the Tigers' 36-18 advantage of points in the paint. And Kevin Mack got off to a great start, hitting his first three-pointers. He's not been scoring from outside in the second half, but he leads all scorers now with those 17 points. Told you, going into the break, Tigers have forced a good number of turnovers, nearly 20 given up by a Colgate team that tries to be efficient. Newman, Tigers' top scorer, coming in, but not made a huge impact today. Maybe that'll get him going. Now 8 points in the game for Newman, averaging nearly 16 in the early going.
That was a great move. I keep harping on Amir Sims. He is so much stronger than anybody that matched up against him. He was matched up with Raymond on that possession.
Raymond kicks it back out high to Cummings, who will run the point. That's the benefit he brings to them in his first year with Colgate after playing for the Bowling Green Falcons. Ivanowskis from way downtown. No, Raymond battling inside, taken away by Mack. Tigers pushing the tempo.
I like to call it a controlled fast break, Pete. And that was a controlled fast break, and that was a bad feed.
How about Raymond? He had a steal in their opener the other night. Gets one right there. It's a big turnover as Clemson was trying to build out this lead here with under 7 minutes to play. Ivanowskis spinning on Sims, who's given him fits all day, but the Barrington, Illinois native will head to the line and try to get this game tied up. Nice spin move.
Nice spin move, protected the ball very well.
Rapolis Ivanauskis, his dad was a professional player in Lithuania. Began his career at Northwestern, but never played for the Wildcats because he had a couple of shoulder injuries, and weren't they happy to get him at Colgate.
I can imagine. He's a fine player.
6 out of 7 from the free throw line in their opening win against New Jersey Tech, and knocks down the 5th free throw in the ball game for the Raiders. They've made them all, and we are tied again at 62. We've had nearly a half dozen ties in this second half.
Now they go to the 1-2-2 zone matchup.
And that size matchup, Burns on Mack, not that big of a deal for Colgate so far away from the basket, especially since Mack has gone cold beyond the arc. Scott driving inside, and they'll have another opportunity at the line, and that foul on Raymond is his 4th.
Good job, Newman. Good spin right there by Newman. Well, he's got such good jumping ability too, and body control.
Newman will take a look as Curran Scott, native of Edmond, Oklahoma, just north of Oklahoma City, hits the front end of a 1-and-1, and here's what got him to the line.
No doubt. Got by him. When you get those shoulders by him, there's nothing they can do but foul you. If the help side's not there, then it's going to result in a basket.
Scott now 3 out of 4 from the line. Tigers back up by 2.
They're switching everything on the perimeter. Clemson switching everything, even big on little.
Richardson, who's been a big scorer but has been quiet of late, Burns inside, and there's Sims knocking it away.
Really good defense by Amir Sims.
No look, Scott, Sims, count it, and he's fouled.
I was talking earlier that, there's been very few free throws in this game. It's been a really good game, and as a result, the field goal percentages, Pete, are really, really good. 50% by each team. That's an indication of a good, clean game.
9 team fouls now on Colgate. Sims unable to convert at the line. Tigers 4-point lead. Biggest they've had in a while. Under 5.5 remains here in our second half, and a good one this afternoon here in Littlejohn Coliseum. Ivanauskis tries to reverse on Sims.
It's a huge possession right here. Coach Brownell's up getting the troops together.
Colgate's so good at hitting the 3, though. They always feel like they're in it. Scott blowing past, and it'll be a goaltending call. Ivanauskis a little bit tardy getting over there.
Beautiful little hesitation dribble there by Scott, Curran Scott.
Scott now with 5 points. Tigers lead. Back out to 6, and the swat looks pretty from that back of the backboard camera, but it goes against Colgate. Richardson, the kick. Raymond fires. Big miss right there. Newman the rebound. Here comes Dawes. Left wing, Mack.
Ooh, that would have been even a bigger make.
That might have been about as close to the dagger as the Tigers could have asked for at this stage of the second half. Cummings, crossover, step back. One and done again for Colgate when they can afford it least. Tigers on a 6-0 run.
Little flex cut. Refuses the screen. Clear out.
Newman across the lane, forcing it over Ivanauskis, and they'll head to the line.
I'll tell you, the difference in this basketball game is Clemson's ability to get the ball in the paint with dribble drives. And I think that's an indication of the quickness advantage that Clemson has.
And even though that didn't lead to a field goal, if Newman can at least convert one of these 2 free throws, it almost is like the advantage they built in points in the paint, 42-20 in the game, but
right.
He's scoring at least 1, if not 2 points here by the fact that he went to the basket right there in the paint. 1 out of 2 for Newman. Came into the game perfect on the year, 5 out of 5 over the first couple of games, but Clemson builds a lead back out now to 3 possessions at 7 points with under 4 to play.
Now they've got big on little because of the switch there on the middle pick and roll.
They've done a really good job of denying the good 3-point looks. There's a feed underneath Ivanauskas, couple of pump fakes and a good finish, and quick timeout called by Matt Langle, the Colgate head coach, as his team ends what was an 8-0 Clemson scoring run. Make that 7-0 for the Tigers, but the lead is now 5. 3:39 to go. Cheerleaders on the court and in the stands trying to will Clemson on to victory. Tigers up by 5. Tevin Mack in the first half did his scoring outside. Down the stretch, the 6'6 Columbia native has worked closer to the basket.
And that's an unbelievable move right there. But points in the paint, Clemson 42, Colgate 22. That is obviously the difference in the game, and they've done it with dribble drives, going right or left, it doesn't matter. They're reading their defender really well, getting the ball inside, and as a result, they're getting to the free throw line now.
And Tevin Mack, 4 of his 7 field goals have come close to the basket. He was 3 for 3 beyond the arc to start the game, but then got a second personal not too far into this game and sat for most of the opening half.
I thought they might come with a little half-court trap, or they're in one. We call it a diamond trap or a diamond press, and they fall back into the 1-2-2 matchup, looks like.
Colgate probably doesn't have enough personnel to full court press Clemson.
That may be true, but at this point in the game, with just 3 minutes to go, they may not have a choice.
Sims, 5 on the shot clock. And he gets it to roll in. He missed that kind of attempt earlier in the game, but Amir Sims now down the course of the campaign. Tigers now in double figures. He's got 10.
One little coaching point there you might have missed. The first half he got it on the right side and shot it with the left hand. That time he got it on his dominant hand on the left side and shot it with his dominant hand.
Getting close to a double-double. 10 points and now has 7 rebounds in the contest. He had 12 and 15 in the opener against Virginia Tech. Tigers look to build on this 7-point advantage. It's their biggest lead of the second half. Inside Sims. Rattles out no. Last touch by Amir Sims. Colgate ball. 2:23 to go, but getting close to desperation time for the Raiders.
Well, I bet you Amir would love to have that shot back again, because that was once again point-blank range. You got to give those officials credit. That was a tough call right there.
Throw down Ivanauskas. His last 2 buckets have come on nice feeds from out high. 14 points. He's one of 4 in double figures for the Raiders. Been a well-played, competitive game pretty much throughout. From the corner, Dawes, and the freshman coming through like a grizzled vet.
That 1-2-2 zone, that's usually the weakness of that 1-2-2 zone, is in the corner.
That and the 1-3-1. Tigers up by 8. Biggest lead of the second half. Dawes has 14. Richardson pretty quiet here at half number 2. Burns has been doing his share of the scoring. Can't get the roll. Richardson put back try, no. Dawes lost it, but Mack picks it up. And that might have been the last best hope for Colgate.
No doubt it's winding down in a hurry. I would think Coach would like to pass the basketball a little bit here and run some time. And we might see who their go-to player is. Great job right there, pinning inside by Sims.
Ivanauskas, his 4th personal, and keep in mind, Colgate has the Tigers in the double bonus. Now, a Clemson team that saw this game tied at 62. Colgate, when they fell behind by 7, got that jam inside. Some good work by Ivanauskas, but Dawes from the outside. And now Sims looking to build on this biggest lead of half number 2. And if he makes this next free throw, It'll match Clemson's biggest lead of the ball game. They were up by 10 at the break, or I should say in the opening half, and then led by 8 at the intermission. And Sims doing just that. 12 points for a second time this year for Amir Sims. Burns, Colgate has to go fast. Raymond. Richardson thought about it. Burns will fire from the left wing. And it's Mack with the rebound. Quick foul by Burns.
Foul is on number 1, Jordan Burns.
That was what you call scramble mode on defense. Running at the shooters. They make the extra pass, run at the shooter.
Sims and Curran Scott and Jamie Lucky, the official, having a discussion. I don't know what the nature of that was.
I think maybe.
And Brad Brownell is going to go ahead and call a timeout.
I think maybe Scott might be trying to calm Amir Sims down a little bit. He's been going at it hard. He had Ivan Alskus.
Brad Brownell on the verge of career win number 338, and as you see over at the monitor, they're taking a look to see if there was some extracurricular. I believe that's what they're doing. And if Brad Brownell is able to lead his team to victory in this final 51.4 seconds, he'll have 171, and this is 10th season at the helm of Clemson, and pull within 6 of Cliff Ellis's program record. Here is what the officials are viewing right now. And you see Curran Scott getting pushed away by Ivan Hauskas and, well, nearly body slammed. Now Sims is wondering what's going on, and perhaps he then brought that directly to the attention of Jamie Lucky. And if you notice, Sims, who I don't know if he has aspirations to eventually go to law school, brought the victim in this case, Curran Scott, over the discussion and tried to get him to tell the officer his side of the story. So that's where we stand, and as a result, Jamie Lucky, our lead official, and going to the monitor, and
he presented his case to Jamie Lucky. Now we're going to get.
Now Lucky's going to go back to the scene of the crime, in this case through video, and do a thorough investigation.
Right.
And here is what we can present to you as we try to gather all the facts. And Ivan Alskus.
I don't think we can do anything there.
In the courtroom, they do not allow you, I don't believe, in most states, including this one, to judge based on intent or what you perceive to be intent. It has been a frustrating day, though, for Ivan Alskus, a great player and maybe the best player in their league. Although, interestingly, even though Ivan Alskus was the player of the year in the Patriot last season, he's not the preseason player of the year in the Patriot, which tells you how good that conference can be. And Jamie Lucky, as we look at the Clemson bench on the other end of the floor, the lead official, is now going to discuss, along with his colleague Tim Clougherty, what exactly is happening. And Brad Brownell is talking to the other official, Mark Schnurr. But you see, two of our officials are waiting to talk to the head coach of Colgate, Matt Langle, and the fact that they're hanging around and about to go discuss things.
Is it going to be a
double foul? So they're going to do a double foul. And we're trying to listen as Jamie Lucky is off to our left. But the fact that the officials were lingering as Matt Langle was instructing his team tells me they're going to report something additional to the Burns foul.
Flagrant one.
And it's going to be a flagrant one on Ivan Alskus. So the Tigers will have an opportunity to build significantly on this 10-point lead. You know, I have mentioned this to some producers I've worked with. And not just at the level we're working today, but all the way up to games you see on the mothership of ESPN and all the other platforms, and on CBS and the various other networks. Flagrant one on 25 Lucky. And they'll shoot that first, and then they'll actually shoot 2 fouls because Burns' foul was beyond the 10. But what Jamie Lucky just was gracious to do to us, why have broadcast positions in TV in this era when we have replay and officials are kind to come over to folks like us and talk to us? There should be a microphone that can be made hot for the official simply to pick up and tell us into the telecast, and therefore we don't have to sit there listening and hope that maybe the audio from the headphones, as you can see, this is where we sit. If we were to put a microphone right there, and Jim, I probably need telestration, and he could simply pick it up and just tell us that. Now, what else he says and do it, we'd probably have to put it on a 7-second delay, but that's a conversation for a different time. So
right.
Curran Scott shooting the free throws based on the intentional foul, missing the first. I really should patent that idea, because if somehow, some way, someone is watching us and you see Ivanauskas over on the bench, and that was his 5th foul, so he's done. And he had a very good game, did Ivanauskas, 14 points, 5 rebounds, but you can tell Clemson did enough of what they wanted to not make him a dominant force.
Right.
Now, Alamir Dawes, who was fouled when the Tigers got the ball on the other end, hitting the first of 2, and you can see.
Well, Ivanauskas is an outstanding shooter, and he's preseason player of the year there in the Patriot League. So
Dawes having a big ball game, 16 points, and early on his career high. Mack the rebound. I'm not sure Colgate will foul here, as Clemson has extended the lead out to 13, but you see a turnover by Mack. You really do see the star power in Dawes, how Hunter is going to be a great contributor. Chase Hunter, he's not on the court right now, but those freshman guards, and if Hemingway, and he walked off the court very gingerly, was helped off the court the other night when he went down with some kind of, it looked like, leg injury against Presbyterian, but he also looks like he's going to contribute. You really like this freshman group that Brad Brownell's brought in.
Right, and you throw John Newman, a sophomore, in there, and that's incredible athleticism.
Tigers will break the press, and Scott, well, why not? With 19 seconds to go, the shot clock was off, but Curran Scott will make it a 80-point game for Clemson, so they follow up the 79-point effort against Presbyterian the other night with at least 81 today.
And Jack Ferguson takes that shot, and Jack Ferguson's middle name is...
He was destined to be a basketball player.
Naismith.
I mean, how could he not play basketball? There was no way that he was playing football, baseball, soccer, or whatever. He was going to become good at basketball.
And he is good.
And they're located in Hamilton, New York. It's only about a 2-3 hour drive from where the Naismith Hall of Fame is situated in Springfield, Massachusetts. Brad Brownell, the midcourt handshake. The Tigers a 13-point win to improve to 2-1 on the season. Colgate falls to 1-1, and for the Clemson head coach, he is now 6 away from the all-time Clemson wins record for a head coach, owned by Cliff Ellis with 177. Matt Langle's got himself a good team. You can see why. A ball club that won 24 games a year ago and won the Patriot League championship and almost upset Tennessee in the opening round. You can see why they're picked to win a very competitive mid-major conference. As for the Tigers, Chase Hunter and company will now have a week off before their next game action against Detroit Mercy next Sunday at 3 p.m. And these first 3 games giving Brad Brownell's and his staff plenty of film to work with a young team.
Right. And, he's a teacher. Coaching is teaching and teaching is coaching. And Brad Brownell, I can't say enough about how he teaches defense.
This was a tight game deep into the second half, but in the end, the Clemson Tigers pull away to an 81-68 victory, their second in as many meetings all time against Colgate. For Jim Davis, Pete Hannity saying so long. This has been a presentation of ESPN.